So hello everybody, this little drive right here is an IBM Type 0661, as you can see on the end of the drive there. It's made in Rochester, Minnesota. At first, since I live in New York, when I saw Rochester I was like, no kidding, this was made in Rochester, New York? And then I saw Minnesota, and I was like, oh. So that ruined that, but this is still a very interesting drive. This was made from probably 1988 to 1990, maybe more because of the date. This is a very complex and very, very high quality drive. I'm going to take the drive rails off that are on it so I can get a better view of it. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got that off, and here's the top of the drive. As you can see, there's a bunch of resistors right here, plus the SCSI, a couple capacitors there, the polarized plug for the power, and the SCSI jumpers are down here. But this is not all of the PCB on this. There's a little bit up here in this corner and a little bit in this corner. These both function as heat sinks. One of these is the VRM, I think, and the other is some sort of control logic. But if I tip this on its side, you'll be able to see the complexity. See, there's a bottom board, that board, and the top board. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of board-to-board interconnect and a lot of control logic inside of there. I would absolutely love to be able to get this off and show you said control logic, but I'm not really sure I can do that safely. There's a probably pretty delicate head ribbon that's inside of there, and I'm sure the way that this board is constructed that it's pretty fragile. I'd rather not risk it, but let's just go over the drive in as good a detail as I can, without being able to look inside of the area there very well. And you know what? Hold on. Let me get my flashlight out, because I just noticed something else. I want you guys to be able to see it. If you can see in there, you'll notice that there's a chip on the bottom towards the left, and then slightly up from that there's another chip. So that means that this drive has 4 layers of PCB logic. Wow! So this is definitely a drive that would have otherwise been in a 5 1/4 inch form factor, and it probably would have served it better due to all the cramming in this. And it says somewhere on this drive that, or at least in the documentation, that this drive requires airflow. But yeah, you can kind of see in there it's a little dusty. There's a couple of control ICs there for something. There's a capacitor there. It's a Nikon 8 microfarad 25 volt capacitor. The head ribbon is probably right there. There's some control logic in there I can't really see too well. There's some below that, and actually there's a chip on this side of the board and a chip on that side of the board. So there's quite a bit even just there. On the back side of this board there's just traces and tons of through-hole stuff. But yeah, this is a very interesting board. Can't really get a good view in there, but there's another rather large chip down there somewhere. Can kind of see it. It's behind that little resistor, that rather large resistor. Anyway, let me go on to the other side, see if we can get a better view from that side. And that would be a nope. Can't get any view from that side. So let's go on to the front of the drive here. As you can see, there's a bunch of Western Digital controllers on the front of that, and some probably Mitsubishi RAM. And there's a 90-degree angle board-to-board interconnect right here, I think. And in this as well, there's some, let me see if I can get a good view on this. Going vertical in this drive, there are tons of board-to-board interconnects that go vertical. Can't really get a good view on it. I'm not really sure what side of the drive I saw it on, but they're in there. There we are. See those little rods that are going from top to bottom? Those are the board-to-board interconnects from the second PCB up to the first PCB, the floor PCB as I'll call it. Wow, I just miscounted again. I just realized that there is another PCB board in this. There's one. Behind this little thing right here, there's another. Behind this, there's another. Behind this, there's another. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 PCB boards. You know, I should have prepared a little bit better looking at this before I actually started the video, but I can't even get a good view in there. Like, I didn't even know that there was that much stuff. I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure what this is really for, but I don't really want to mess with it. I think it looks like shock absorbing because of that little blue thing. Let me flip this drive back over. Yeah, there's the same one on the other side, so that's kind of expected. So you can see on the back, there is a large ribbon that goes up to the front, which is for the VRM and other components up there. And you can see they have really large traces that go up to the front of the drive. So this is a very, very large current flow that's going through there. You can see the traces for various chips and stuff, and the board-to-board interconnect pins are right there. So you can see not all of them are used on this first layer of PCB, but you can kind of see the second layer down. This might be a multi-layer board. I'm not really sure, and I don't know how to tell that. But you can see there's some sort of something, and I think that might be a date code, 0192-23. So that could mean that it was made on the 23rd of January 92, but I'm not sure. You can see the contact pins on the row there for the 90 degree board-to-board interconnect. There's some IC here, probably a RAM or something else there. Another little IC there, and probably a really small IC there. Let me flip it back over to this side. We'll examine these chips a little bit. Probably see what their functions are. I think, yes, okay, on this board, these connectors here, the power and the data, are connected to this board with the big chips on it. So one of these is probably power control, and most assuredly the other two are SCSI control, and probably the one that's directly below the jumpers interprets jumper settings, and this is just the RAM for all three chips. I can't really tell because this is a multi-layer board where those RAM traces go, but I can tell you that a couple of the traces on this chip right here go through some resistors to a board-to-board interconnect, so they definitely go to a different board. And you can kind of see through those little holes right there how many boards it has. But yeah, let's go to the front of the drive now. We'll examine those VR thingies at the top that I was talking about. Okay, so this is the front right corner of the drive. There's a very large IC that's connected by a ribbon cable to the side of this 90-degree bracket sort of thing that contains most of the hard drive. I'm not sure what part of that this is, but I'm assuming it's voltage regulation. It's got like a staggered dip sort of thing on the chip there. You can kind of see it's a staggered dip, and it's connected directly to the ribbon cable. You can probably see that there is a couple of voltage transistors, I think, or just voltage regulators, but I'm not sure. Anyway, on the other side. On this side, you can see kind of another staggered dip, and this may be something else, but it's definitely attached to the heatsink, so it probably gets pretty hot. And again, it's just attached directly to the ribbon cable, so that's a very interesting design. There's also one other thing. There's this little hole right here. You can view inside the drive with that. It's really cool. But yeah, anyway, let me think about what else I can talk about here. So, as I was saying before when I shut the video off, this is definitely like built-in sections. The HDA assembly is the big black and copper looking part that you see here. Let me get a better handle on this. This is the hard disk assembly right here, for sure. All of this part right here. The PCB is strapped on separately, and it's all enclosed by this metal casing that runs around the drive and contains the heatsink elements for these parts in the corners here. I have yet to read the specifications for this drive, but it's gotta dissipate a lot of heat. I'm sure it takes a lot of power to begin with, and it gotta dissipate a lot of heat. I think this is the date code up here, now that I actually look at it. 04-14-92, which would mean that it's made in March, April. Correct me if I'm wrong, April? January, February, March, April. It's made in April, I know how to count. It made in April 14th of 1992, if that's actually the date code. I'm gonna go look up the data sheet for this drive, and we'll get some viewing pleasure on that.